What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be your Project Runway review, season 18, episode 10. So let's go on and jump into it. So this week's episode was a tie-dye challenge. It taking tie-dye and giving it an updated feel. They were talking about all the designers, Prada and blah 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 and blah blah blah, have added tie-dye, and it's like in vogue. Let me tell you something. I am one of those people that has always hated tie-dye. I remember having to do tie-dye shirts at summer camp. It never failed. Somehow, some way, somewhere, we always ended up doing a damn tie-dye shirt. I hate tie-dye. I don't care how you slice tie-dye. I don't care how you switch up the designs of tie-dye. I hate tie-dye. Now, there were a couple of little outfits at the end of this that I could get with. But overall, it was a 2-day challenge, but the catch was they were going to be spending the night at the workroom. And honestly, it was needed because of the tie-dye, because of them having to dry the fabric and stuff like that. They kind of needed to do it kind of needed to be a 24-hour, 48-hour situation. But they gave them cots to sleep in and onesies, and they had a pizza party stuff. I mean, they made it fun. But I'm sure it was just another tier, another level to the competition to, you know, separate the boys from the girls. I don't know. So, guest judge was Leslie Jones. Now, you know, Leslie Jones and Christian Siriano have a great relationship. A few years ago, when Leslie Jones was invited to present at the Oscars, I think it was either the Oscars or the Emmys. It was one of those big award shows. And, you know, most of the time, designers come out of the woodwork and beg to dress actors and actresses for the red carpet. Leslie said nobody wanted to dress her. None of the designers, because of her body type, because she's tall. She said, you know, nobody wanted to design her. Christian contacted her and said, I will design you. And from there forward, I think probably 80% of the time I have seen her on a red carpet, she's wearing Christian. So that was definitely a great career move on his part and built a great relationship. She's a super fan. And if y'all know anything about Leslie Jones, or you follow her on social media, she is hilarious. She gets into these things, and she is a super fan. She when she was tweeting the Olympics, her tweets were so funny and her commentary was so on point that NBC actually invited her to come down to Rio and be an on-site commentator. And she tweeted the Game of Thrones, and they were hilarious. Like, if y'all don't follow her on social media and see her tweets, honey, and she did the same thing for RuPaul. She's gonna be a judge on RuPaul this season. Anyway, moving on. I spent a lot of time on that, didn't I? They ended up having to take a class. Well, they didn't have to, but they took a class showing them all these different techniques on how to do tie-dye. There are different designs. I didn't know it was this intricate, okay? There were different designs, and you tie the zip tie tight or untie it or keep it loose. There's different types of dye for different types of material. I mean, hey, it got real interesting. And so they took this whole class, and of course, half of them wasn't paying attention except for Brittany. Brittany was taking notes. Brittany was paying attention. And then when they got to the workroom, who was asking all the questions? I mean, they were asking Brittany all the questions. Well, Brittany, how do you do this? Brittany, when do you do that? Brittany, when are you supposed to say that? And, you know, I give Brittany credit because I'm sure there was a part of her that wanted to be like, I don't know. But she said, you know what? They've helped me in the past. It is what it is. But next time, pay the damn attention. And I'm with it. Nancy is making pants again. She said they're different pants. I've never made these pants before. But at the end of the day, they were still those wide leg, flowy, big pants. They weren't tailored. They weren't tapered. They were the exact. Just because you switch up a stitch here or a stitch there, at the end of the day, just like we've been saying about Victoria and them daggone dresses, it's the same thing. Now, speaking of Victoria, she's having a conversation with Delvin and telling him, you need to switch it up, because Delvin wants to make this trench coat dress type thing. And she's telling him, look, the judges have seen that. You don't want to make the same thing again. Da 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 da. And at first I was sitting over here like, well, ain't that the pot calling the kettle black? But then she went on to say, I have to do the same thing. You have to come out of and I do too. So I was like, okay, at least she recognizes that she's doing the same thing. Now, I agree about Delvin to a certain extent, but I think part of it is that's his aesthetic. That is, he wants to do tailored couture, and so that is what he has done. I do think that he doesn't take risk. I do think that he does not allow himself to step outside of the box, and when he does, he is not confident in it. And that is his biggest downfall, is that he has the talent, but he's not confident in it, and so he only halfway does. He'll go out on a limb, but he doesn't push it all the way. He pushes it far enough, and so it's not usually well executed because he didn't push it far enough. Y'all know what I'm saying? Anyway, Sergio is delusional as hell. Sergio is saying how the judges just don't understand him and they don't get him, and he thinks that they misunderstand him, and she misunderstood what he was saying about being in a new about the last week going back to the 1950s. No, she didn't misunderstand you. She understood exactly what you said. Then he went on to say that he just thinks that the judges are scared of him. No, nobody's scared of you, sir. Nope. Especially not the judges. Why would they be scared of you? Anyway. So, Nancy spent all of her time working on these pants that we've seen a million times. She didn't dye her material to the last minute. She didn't even make a top. Like Christian kept telling her, Nancy, you need a top. Nancy, you need a top. Nancy, you need a top. And she was literally still sewing her top together as they went on the runway. Whatever, child. Delvin did a really good job of opening up. Like with every episode, I think he let his guard down a little bit more and a little bit more. And at the beginning of the season, I really didn't think I was going to like Delvin, and I actually ended up liking Delvin a lot. I really do like him a lot. Okay. Not all of them, a couple of them had some mishaps with the material. So Jeffries actually ended up working out in his favor. He dyed the material. He was going for like an army green color because he was kind of doing a play off the whole military thing again. But not the same. It wasn't the same, but he still sort of had that military mindset. And he wanted that army green type color, which he thought it was black, but as it dried, it was the right color. It was definitely that deep army green. Victoria and Delvin had fiascos with their material because the colors just didn't come out dark enough. But I feel like after seeing what Sergio went with, I think you could have got away with it. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to get to Sergio's garment. I liked Sergio's garment, and I thought his garment was beautiful. Well, I guess I already did it. But Delvin just kept, I think, again, in his own head, thinking he didn't have enough color, and I think he could have made it work. But what he ended up doing was dyeing something else, which ended up not being what his thought process was. So again, what does he do? He panics. When it's not perfect, he panics. He was going for this whole Phoenix out of the ashes type thing. And I feel like he had the right color scheme. But the judges didn't like it. I don't know. We'll get there. I didn't hate it. And then they, when they had the pizza party, they just had good conversation. They didn't stress themselves out. They just had a really good conversation. Okay. Now let's get to these fashions, child. Let's get to the fashions. Marquise's outfit, Christian said it looked like an ice skater's costume. And when I looked at it, I said, it sure does. It really did. It was, cut out at the top, frilly at the bottom. It was short. It really did. It looked like somebody could have put some tights on that thing, put on some ice skates, and kept it moving. It really, really did. But he was safe. Brittany has said that the straps are her signature. I don't know if there's so much her signature as she did it a couple of times. It worked for her, and now she's made it when did the straps become her signature? But anyway, she made this dress with the straps, and she was safe too. I didn't think her dress was all of that. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I guess she was in the right category, safe. Okay. Sergio's dress was absolutely gorgeous. For as much as Sergio irritates my soul, I can be fair and honest and say when it's good, and when it's not, it's not. Sergio's dress was gorgeous. I could see that dress at a cocktail party. I could see that dress at a after 5 event. I could see it on a summer. It was beautiful. It was a yellow. It was tapered tailored at the top. It flared out. It had a nice flare to it. It was really beautiful. It was. But what I was saying about it was, it was very light. The yellow was a very, very light yellow. And you almost couldn't see the design, the tie-dye. And so that's why I say I feel like Delvin could have got away with what he did, and so could Victoria. Because, hell, if you made a good enough garment, they was going, and they could see the tie-dye, you'd have been all right. And that's how I felt about it, but okay. And, of course, he was in the top. Jeffrey, I told you he made a dress beautiful, slit up the side, that army green color, and his tie-dye was, I don't know all the different damn designs, but it was a tie-dye design, child. It was cut in the front with the little crisscross straps. It was gorgeous, and he was in the top. Then we had Nancy, had them same damn pants, and that off-the-shoulder top that I feel like we've seen that as well. I don't know whether she was safer in the bottom shit. I don't know. I feel like she was supposed to be in the bottom, but then they did one of those, well, if you take this off and if you do this and you do that, see, it's not that bad after all. So she was safe, child. It came down to Nancy and Delvin. Now, let me say this. It was funny because when they were giving the critiques to Victoria, they said something about Marquise doing something. And she made a comment about, well, that's not her style, or it was something that could have been seen as a dig at Marquise. And Leslie was like, yeah, but Marquise is safe and you out here. I said, oh. Well. Now, I'm going to just go on and tell y'all who won, because I need a few minutes on the bottom. Jeffrey won. I'm cool with Jeffrey winning. I would have been fine if Sergio had won. I think both of their outfits were head and shoulders above everybody else's. I like Jeffrey more than I like Sergio, so of course I was happy to see Jeffrey win. But honestly, either one of them I would have been fine with. And Jeffrey said that his confidence is building up more and more with every time he wins a challenge and all that. So I'm glad to see it. Now let's get to this bottom. Nancy and Delvin were both at the bottom. Delvin he made another dress that, for the exception of the front, had that buckle thing that happens when your top is too small for your bust measurements up top. That little gap that you get. That was there, and that was bothering me, and that was horrible. And he's beyond where we should be having those kind of mistakes being made. Like, we should be on those mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know where I left off, but so Delvin's dress, again, for the exception of that little buckle in the middle, I really didn't think it was a bad dress. I do think that Delvin tends to design for a more mature clientele. I do feel like that, and he has been told that, and he has been sort of warned about that, I guess. But I really did not think his dress was horrible. I didn't think it was as bad as the judges thought it was. Okay, let me say that. Now, Victoria, that was a piece of hot buttered mess that Victoria had. It was like a top that was like off the shoulder, like that old school off the shoulder, and like them, those little, like, y'all remember, what's her name? Of Mama's Family. Y'all remember Mama's Family? I remember Naomi from Mama's Family, how she used to always wear those tops and she pulled the shoulders down. That is what Victoria's top looked like to me. And it was tie-dye. It was hideous. Like, I don't know anybody that would have wore that outfit Victoria designed. Then she had this denim thing where she had the jeans, and then she had like Daisy Dukes on top of a pair of jeans. And then she just splashed some paint on the jeans to match the top. Now, what would if I were a judge? Now, do I think that both of them deserve to be in the bottom? Again, they did have Nancy in the bottom, but they felt like Nancy's wasn't that bad. So I'm cool with the two of them being in the bottom. Brittany, but I'm cool with the two of them being in the bottom. Here's what would have been my deal breaker, though. One, Victoria still was not humble, even in the critique they gave her this week. Two, Delvin has shown you he can do things other than one aesthetic and be successful. Yeah, he's made some mistakes and he's hit some roadblocks, but overall, Delvin has tried to come outside of a comfort zone and he's done other things. The first time, second time, both times that Victoria tried to do something different and come out of her comfort level, it was an epic fail, which further proves that she can't do anything but make that one damn dress. And so if I'm a judge, I'm sending Victoria home just based on that fact that if you try to do anything other than this right here, you not only does it just not come out okay, it's an epic fail. It is questionable on every level. Whereas with Delvin, again, we're at a point now where everything is scrutinized. So Delvin went home. Am I upset that Delvin went home? From the point of view of between Delvin and Victoria, I would have picked Victoria. But am I upset like I felt like he was robbed? No, he deserved to be at the bottom. He did. But I really didn't feel like his was that egregious. Like, Victoria's outfit offended me because it was so bad. Like, I was offended that she made that shit. Y'all know what I'm saying? Y'all tell me if you agree, disagree. Drop it in the comments because that's just how I feel. Now, again, we are at the point in the competition where at this point, any faux pas is liable to get you home. You can go from the top to going home at this point. There are no more saves. There are no more immunity. Like, it is what it is. And again, do I really feel like the two of them deserve to be in the bottom? Yeah. Because honestly, I think Victoria going to be right behind them. Because I don't think okay. So who's left? Marquise, Brittany, Jeffrey, Sergio, Victoria, Nancy. We got 6 people left, right? Did I say that right? Who do I think is going to be next? Barring any type of major meltdown, right? It's going to be Nancy or Victoria, I think. I think Nancy or Victoria will go home next. Unfortunately, I don't think Marquise is going to make it to the finale. Do I think he could? Yes. Do I think he will? No. I think the finale is going to be Brittany, Jeffrey, and Sergio. So I do believe that Marquise, Nancy, and Victoria will go home. I'm not sure what order. But I think those will be the 3 that won't make it to the finale. Who is it that I think should not be in the finale? Like, I don't think they could give me a full collection. I like Nancy, but Nancy has not shown me that she can give me more than one look. Same thing with Victoria. Has not shown me that she can give me more than one look. Even though Marquise has made some mistakes and it has not always been fully executed correctly, I think with time, when Marquise doesn't have a time constraint on his back, I think Marquise has shown us different looks. I think Marquise has shown us that he's willing to take chances. So I think Marquise could give us a collection. I'm not saying he will, but he could. But definitely Sergio, as much as I ain't crazy about Sergio, but Sergio can make some damn clothes. I mean, he's had his moments where, they ain't been the best, but overall, he can make some clothes. Jeffrey, I love Jeffrey, what he does. And like I said, Brittany, they like Brittany. Brittany's okay for me, but they love Brittany. Anyway, y'all, I've rambled on long enough. I'm going to put, at the end of this video, I'm going to put Jeffrey's look, but I'm also going to put Sergio's look because honestly, y'all, Sergio's dress I thought was just gorgeous. I just thought it was gorgeous. And then on his model, that color, I just thought it was gorgeous. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.